sir or madam, it began with small betrayals. The breeze forgot its favourite direction. Birds vanished between one sentence and the next, and the sun wore a sickly halo as if it had been awake too long. On Evan Rourke's dash tablet, a kink in the velocity scan grew teeth. The hook echo sharpened, a bite taken out of the world. Sirens wound up from the edge of town. A metallic cry that always sounds overconfident at first and then, suddenly, not nearly confident enough. At County General, Marina Alvarez pulled elastic tourniquets out of a plastic bin and stacked them like poker chips. The PA system hiccuped through, "Attention, this is not a drill," and then stuttered into static, like even the building didn't want to hear itself. The sky went bruise green. Leaves flipped their pale undersides like 1,000 hands surrendering at once. Anvil lightning crawled sideways, silent but intimate, the kind of lightning that makes you feel watched. On the city's north side, Mrs. Eloise Kent unlocked the boiler room door, counted out loud as children descended the stairs, and told the janitor to bring the emergency water, the cheap flashlights, and his harmonica. Because distraction is triage for small souls. Chief Darius Cole rolled his engine toward the river viaduct, eyes sliding across intersections, mentally colour-coding which roads would choke first. He radioed, "Shelter, not roads. If you're already out there, do not outrun this," and wished words could be traffic cones. Evan eased his truck into a gravel lot and framed the wall cloud. On his live stream, chat numbers ticked upward. First locals, then strangers hunting the weather like a story, then rescue volunteers who'd learned to read a screen the way sailors read a horizon. Someone typed in Portuguese, "Gancho no radar, cuidado, hook on radar, careful," and the auto-translation mangled the grammar, but not the urgency. The inflow whipped damp hair against necks, a cold finger at the collar. Marina texted her younger brother a single word, "Cellar," and slid her phone into a pocket she might not see again. The first condensation rope dangled like a question mark, then writhed back into cloud. The second stiffened, touched dirt, and, without drama, committed. The field stooped toward it in ripples. The rope fattened into a wedge, black and low, a geometry that makes the human brain throttle back because it does not look like air. Sirens wavered as if the sound itself feared being pulled apart. Darius killed his siren to hear the wind, because wind tells the truth even when instruments lie. He could taste transformer smoke already, copper on the tongue. Mrs. Kent snapped her flashlight off and on 3 times, the signal the staff had practiced for a decade, hoping to never use, and told them the story about the storm when she was 12, how the power went out, and her mother played the harmonica until the thunder got bored and left. The children laughed on cue, rehearsing courage. Evan whispered to the lens, "It's down," though the lens already knew. The city's fate had been a line on a screen for 10 minutes. Now it was a line on the earth. Somewhere in a kitchen that still believed in walls, a kettle clicked off. Somewhere else, a dog planted all 4 feet and refused the leash. The wind stopped negotiating. Once it touched, the tornado stopped being theatrical and became practical. It started sorting. Roofs went first, plucked, curled, and spirited away like a magician's tablecloth. Then walls, which sighed before they failed as if apologizing. A red sedan shuddered against the asphalt, tires screaming, then slid sideways like it had decided to be a boat. Marina took 3 running steps into the ambulance bay, stopped and retreated because the bay doors flexed in their tracks like lungs that did not want to exhale. She grabbed the trauma shears because scissors are a promise. We will get through something today. Evan's camera drank a power substation in blue eruptions, power flashes stitching the horizon. The wedge grew shoulders. Dust became bricks, then shingles, then entire addresses rotated into the air, names and birthdays stripped to splinters. A 2x4 harpooned the lawn beside his front tire and juddered to a stop. He said, because saying anything kept him from saying the wrong thing, "This is a very dangerous situation." In the boiler room, Mrs. Kent took attendance by nickname and hobby because paper lists can lie but memory doesn't. She hugged a child who smelled like crayons and fear. "We are a team," she said, "and teams win by staying put." Chief Darius reached the first collapse, a bungalow sheared to the height of a kitchen table. The occupants had folded themselves into a hallway the way brochures tell you to. The hallway was where the hallway used to be. He and his crew belly-crawled under a splinter lattice, helmets knocking nails, hearing the storm as pressure instead of sound. Above them, the wedge chewed, paused, reconsidered, and chewed again. He found a pulse under a bathroom door and shouted joy like a profanity. The crew lifted in rhythm. The door became a stretcher. The world became very simple. Lift, breathe, lift. The city screamed in wavelengths. Sirens, sure, but also 1,000 small screams. Window seals failing, gutters raking brick, a pharmacy's shelves migrating 6 feet and tilting into gravity, a dog howling in a tone that dates back to wolves and memory. Marina triaged in a hallway because hallways remember being inside even when the roof forgets. She moved red to the left, yellow to the right, green with jobs to do. She used belts when tourniquets ran out. She used apologies when morphine did. On Evan's feed, chat exploded in Portuguese. Dr. Ana Beatriz Salles, meteorologist in São Paulo, stitched in her live analysis. She circled the velocity couplet and said, "Escutam, isso é wedge. Paredes internas, banheira, colchão sobre vocês. Listen, this is a wedge, interior wall, bathtub, mattress over you." Her voice cut through latency and fear. In Brazil, office TVs switched channels. Traffic slowed. A nation that knows flood and wind felt a familiar shiver. Hashtags began to bud in the corner of the stream like hard fruit, vento apocalyptico, força cidade. The wedge shouldered a water tower into a kneel and then a prayer. The tower, being steel, did not finish the prayer. 5 blocks vanished. The tornado's forward speed ticked upward as if it had learned the city's language and now wanted to talk faster. Evan's lens shook. He braced it against the steering wheel, eyes flicking between the real horizon and the electronic one. In the boiler room, Mrs. Kent found the janitor's harmonica and made it sound like a failing radiator. The kids laughed. The wedge, offended by laughter, came closer. The tornado took the river like a rumour, and then the rail yard like a promise kept. Its path kinked east, a predatory courtesy to the worst possible set of streets. People make plans around grids. Wind loves diagonals. Chief Darius pushed his engine sideways across an intersection to stop a stream of minivans bent on outrunning physics. A driver pounded his steering wheel and shouted about freedom. Darius pointed at the horizon where the wedge wore pearls of satellite vortices. "Your freedom's in that basement," he said, and the driver, to his credit, listened. Evan edged south of the track, crosswind hammering, his own body a seismograph. He flipped go live again. The chat countered with coordinates, addresses, short prayers in long languages. The debris ball on radar thickened, his stream windowed Dr. Sal's side by side, her Portuguese cadenced and precise. She mapped the storm's inflow like a conductor seeing music before the first note. Brazil's comments poured, "Alerta, pessoal, abrigam-se, força." A firefighter in Porto Alegre dropped a link for safe room plans. An engineer in Curitiba posted a thread about roof fastening that would later save houses the thread's author would never see. Mrs. Kent realized 2 4th-graders were missing. The bathroom, wrong minute, and sent the gym teacher with a flashlight and a voice that could lift a roof. He returned with both boys, cheeks tear-streaked, hands sticky with soap and terror. She did not scold. She inventoried their faces, then moved a chessboard behind them, because new memories should not be built on top of old king.